Council of Jerusalem. How do Jews embrace Gentile followers of God? Character introduction. From left to the right are Paul, Barnabas, Pharisees, elders, Peter, God, and James. The advent of the Gospels spread out Jesus' sayings. Paul and Barnabas have the mission to teach Jesus' sayings to Gentiles. Therefore, more and more Gentiles start their faith in God. After noticing that Gentiles are going to have the same faith in God as Jews do, some certain Jews declare that if you don't circumcise according to the custom of Moses like Jews, you cannot be saved. When Paul and Barnabas hear this declaration, they hold the opposite opinion that the Gentiles can follow God without obeying any ancient Jews' rules, and have a lot of argument with them. But to stop this endless and meaningless dispute, Paul and Barnabas decide to go to Jerusalem to discuss this question with the apostles and the elders in the church. So, they start their journey to the church, and they continue to bring great joy to other Gentiles as they pass through both Phoenicia and Samaria. Finally, they arrive in Jerusalem and are welcomed by the church, apostles, and the elders. All of them move to the church, meeting together and discussing the controversial issue they have just encountered. People who are curious are also watching.
However, some Pharisees stood up and emphasized that it is necessary for Gentiles to be circumcised in order to keep the law of Moses. The elders and apostles continued to debate, but the solution was not decided yet. At this point, Peter stood up and told everyone what he thought. Peter claims that God gives the Holy Spirit to whoever follows him, no matter whether one is a Jew or a Gentile. If one is willing to accept God's words and good news, anyone can become a believer. Jews and Gentiles are the same. More importantly, don't ask others to do what our ancestors and Jews couldn't do. Every believer wants to be saved. Why don't we make it easy for everyone? All assembling kept silence and listened to Paul and Barnabas how the great signs, wonders, and signs that God has done through them among the Gentiles.
Then, James continues saying that when God shows his concern for Jews, he also takes the Gentiles into his arms. Therefore, James preaches the decision that Jews should not trouble those Gentiles who are turning to God. Gentiles only need to follow 3 things. First, if the Gentiles worship idols, God will say no. Second, if the Gentiles eat the meat from strangled animals and from blood, God will say no. Third, if the Gentiles commit sexual immorality, God will say no. Through the Council of Jerusalem and with the 3 no policy, Jews and Gentiles can resolve doctrinal disputes and rebuild their relationship more effectively.